Welcome back. You're listening to WDM 91.3. This is Behind the Dish. I'm Ben Bellotti, and I'm here with my host, Robbie Cannon. How you doing, Rob?
I'm pretty good. How are you today, Benny?
I'm doing great. And just so everyone knows, we are taking the time slot of Ride and Pine, a show with Robbie and our good friend Sam Pocock. Unfortunately, Sam's a little bit under the weather today, but that's all right because we're filling in, and then Ride and Pine will come right back next week, and that just means Behind the Dish gets 2 shows today, so this week. So it's pretty good if you ask me, except for Sam. Feel better, Sam.
We're thinking of you, buddy.
Of course. So, a lot has happened since since break. It's been about 2 months, a month and a half, and a lot has happened. I mean, there's been scandals, the Super Bowl, just about everything you can think of has happened, and we got a lot to talk about in this 2-hour window.
See, where do you want to start? Let's start with Kobe.
Kobe, of course.
So I mean, obviously, everybody's heard of the passing of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, along with 7 other people, most of which were involved in the sports community.
Right, whether it's basketball or there's a college baseball coach and the scout involved. With his daughter was Kobe's daughter's friend. So it's a very sad thing that happened and completely unexpected. It's something you obviously don't want to see, and it really took the sports world pretty hard. It took to the sports world hard. It took to everyone. I mean, this is an idol. He came up pretty much in the era of social media. He was one of the first players to have social media and become the star because of it. So just because of that, he was amplified so much more, you know?
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, we'll kind of talk about everyone involved a little bit, at least the people in the sports world, and I'll let Ben talk more about the Alto Bellies, as he probably knows more about them than I do through baseball and whatnot. But in terms of Kobe, first, I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it.
Of course.
But as a person, I mean, we all heard the stories watching ESPN. They're pretty uplifting. And the variety is what really struck me, that the way that he touched every person a little bit differently, but all in such a positive way, whether it was on the court or off the court. And it really is unfortunate.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you know, there was some things in his past that weren't too great, but he really took that and learned from it, and he turned it around, and he became what people are calling one of the best father figures out there, supporter of women's rights, just about everything you can think of. He devoted his life after his playing career to his daughter's basketball career, to try and get her to be this great athlete like he was, and just support her and women's rights altogether and everything, just being an all-around great guy. He really just, you know, when you think of Kobe now, you think of this great image, both player and person. So
yeah, the night I think it was a couple nights later, the ESPN aired the showing of his last game when he put up 60 against the Jazz, and it was almost like at the time we appreciated the greatness on the court, but no one really appreciated the speech that he gave after the game and all that until after. And I mean, until now, obviously.
And then there's of course the video of him and his daughter at the basketball game where he's, you know, giving her basketball insight, and all. You see that video more than anything, really. I mean, obviously you have all his great plays he had from his career and the great accomplishments, but the video that really surfaced around was the one of him and his daughter just talking basketball, teaching her the game, and that really speaks to the person he became. And it's just, you know, it's a shame that he's gone too soon, and everyone involved in the crash.
Yeah, and then his daughter Gigi, who we've been referencing pretty much the whole time, who was a very good player in her own right, but based on what I've heard, even a better person than Kobe was. Everybody liked her, so 13 years old is just incredibly too young.
Right.
And then Ben, if you want to talk about the others involved.
So along in the crash, there was also John Altobelli. He was a former baseball coach in the Cape Cod League and the Orange Coast League. He was also a college coach, and along with him, it was his wife and daughter. So the daughter was on Kobe's daughter, Gigi, her basketball team. But, I mean, the Altobelli family, all our thoughts and prayers go out to them, along with
Everyone
Kobe's family, and but it really brings things into perspective. I mean, Kobe's family has to live without him and Gigi. Then this family just lost 3 members all in one, and now there's the kids that are just
2 kids left.
Just 2 kids left, which is incredibly sad.
Yeah.
But what has the good that's come from this is obviously that everyone's being supportive of all the families. There's been GoFundMe's made for everyone involved. People have been changing their numbers in support of Gigi and Kobe. Yep. It brings the community together, which is good. It's a shame that what happens is when the community comes together, it's normally because of these tragic events, and that's what's sad. But there is good that comes from it, and you just gotta hope that everything happens for a reason, and the people do see the underlying good, and we think of more of their lives as a celebration instead of mourning. So
exactly, Kobe did more in 41 years than most people could do in 200 years. So, it's unfortunate, and we'll keep. We'll kind of shift over to some Super Bowl talk.
Some more a little positive talk, a little something fun to get off this. But once again, thoughts and prayers go out to all the families involved, and let's talk some Super Bowl.
It was fun. I mean, I'm assuming that pretty much everyone out there listening right now watched the game, or at least knows what happened.
If you don't watch the Super Bowl, you're not American, right?
What are you doing?
Come on.
What are you doing? Even if you're watching it for the commercials.
Exactly. The commercials, arguably, more people watch for the commercials than the game sometimes.
Exactly.
So we understand. But the Super Bowl, a pretty good game. It wasn't as exciting as other Super Bowls, but it picked up at the end. Unfortunately for me and Robbie, we were rooting for the 49ers, so they couldn't pull through, but it really became a great game towards the end, the back end of the game.
It did. I've been for a year and a half now. I've been an outspoken critic of Pat Mahomes, and he showed me different in the second half. He showed me up. He played very well.
He really did.
Andy Reid, who I haven't been a big fan of his either. You got to be happy for him.
I respect him. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
He's been trying to go out there and get a Super Bowl for a long time, and I'm glad he got one. But you're a critic of Mahomes? I mean, the dude's a G. I mean, look at him go. He's great.
I know. I've seen enough of him throwing sidearm, no-look throws on Sports Center.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
Because they love showing the ones that he completes, and
they do.
They don't show the ones that he doesn't complete.
I mean, you can't, though. You can't.
I've always thought he was overrated, but he's got a ring. He's 23
and
years old.
May we add Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, I mean, is what it is. I'm happy for. Congrats to the city of Kansas City, but the Super Bowl, I will say, it wasn't as entertaining without the New England Patriots.
I completely agree. That may be biased, but I completely agree. Rooting for your hometown definitely adds another element to it. We had a little bit of hometown type feeling with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yes.
Was he disappointing? You think? He may have had a little disappointing game, in my opinion.
I was very disappointed.
I mean, he's no Tom Brady.
He isn't. We all knew that, though.
We knew that, but you think.
I thought he was a top 10 quarterback in the league. I don't think he is.
I 100% agree. I was on the same page as you, and I don't think so anymore. You think he has a Super Bowl. This great Super Bowl mentor in Tom Brady. He's been to tons of them.
He's been to what, probably 3 or 4
right.
Super Bowls just sitting there watching.
I mean, Brady reached out to him before the game, it was reported, and I expected a lot more from Jimmy G. I mean, he had a great, was it second quarter was where he shot? And then he went out in the third quarter. It was just incompletion after incompletion. And that really, in my opinion, is what allowed the Chiefs to take over and get on top and ultimately win 31-20.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I'm not really in love with the way that the Niners played.
No.
They kind of. I know that they're a run first team, but I thought they had to give Jimmy a little more of a. Little more options. They did hold him back a little bit, in my opinion, until it was too late by the time.
Well, then there's the argument. You saw how poorly he performed when he was passing the ball.
You are right.
The runs were really the only thing that got them on the board.
Yeah. I mean...
he had, one touchdown pass?
Yeah, but then they had that one. He missed Emmanuel Sanders wide open. That would
that could have changed the game.
That would have put him up with, 2 minutes left.
The 49ers probably win
the game if he makes that. Not that... difficult of a throw. Sanders had him beat by 2 steps, so it is what it is. But yeah, our bets didn't hit. Congrats to Andy Reid, and I guess Mahomes. Congrats to Mahomes.
Yeah.
Congrats to Kansas City.
Congrats to Kansas City
They have a
Chiefs.
really good wide receiving core.
They really do.
I mean, Kelsey, McCole Hardman is one of the best young wideouts in the NFL. Obviously, Tyreek Hill. It was a little weird to see him with his kids out there.
That was a little off.
Nervous for his kids.
But as it went around Twitter, I don't know if you saw it. That did confirm they were safe.
Yes, it did. I was very happy to see that, though. I mean, right when I saw him, I could not believe that they really put him on with his kids.
That was a little surprising.
They did,
knowing the circumstances. But I guess they're trying to put him in better light, maybe move on from the situation. Related to the Super Bowl, can we talk about maybe perhaps the best Super Bowl commercial in Super Bowl history?
Yes, we can. So, I believe we're talking about the same one, Mr. Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Hulu.
Yeah, first, he walks in, you're like, what's going on?
Exactly.
Then he has an announcement to make. You're like, oh. And then he announces all this great Hulu information. And you're like, oh, disappointed. But then the words that set all New England fans absolutely crazy.
The hallway in our dorm erupted.
There was kids running down the hall rejoicing that Tom Brady said, quote, I'm not going anywhere.
And that is how all of New England felt.
I just got chills just saying it.
I know, seriously. But I mean, I guess not all of New England. It's sad to say, but not all of New England feels that way. There was a girl watching the game in our dorm, and she said, I kid you not, Tom Brady needs to go.
That's absurd.
I looked at her, Ben, and I said, you need to get out of my room. We do not talk about the greatest football player ever in my room that way. We do not. I mean, that is absurd to think about. But I mean, 99% of New England did go nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Social media. He
Went
put
crazy.
the post out too on Instagram before.
Right, it was the picture, and everyone thought, is he leaving the field? Is he walking towards it? It was just a Hulu commercial.
Let me be the first to say, when he posted that, I commented. I was 20 minutes late to the post, by the way, which I'm usually right on top of Brady post. Got the post notifications on. It's awesome.
Right.
But I was 20 minutes late, so there's already a bunch of comments. Don't leave, crying emojis, hearts. And I go in there and comment, he's walking towards the field. What are you guys saying? And where was he going?
Towards the field.
Toward midfield to
and
film a commercial.
He's not going anywhere.
To tell us he's not going
now,
anywhere.
of course, I have to add, I'm not going anywhere doesn't necessarily mean he's staying with the Patriots. Although I'm pretty sure, everyone, it's about, an 85%, 90% chance he is staying with the Patriots.
He's staying with the Patriots.
There's a lot of rumors out there that, he's going. Did you see the Dak Prescott rumor?
No. Oh, I saw that. I saw a Brady rumor to Dallas. And
right.
That was
absurd. It might be I
didn't even click on it.
I didn't really.
So stupid.
It was kind of confusing the way they worded it, but it basically, what I saw was Prescott would come to New England and then Brady would go to Dallas. I don't exactly know how that would work out if, maybe Prescott has to become an unrestricted free agent first. I don't know. But anyway, that rumor was out there. That's a weird one. But, come on. He's coming back. I say it's either he retires or he's going to be a Patriot.
I couldn't agree anymore. But I don't think he's going to retire. I mean, he's as close to the Mamba mentality from Kobe as anyone else.
And
on this planet.
he's been quoted saying he wants a team around him. So maybe he'll take another hometown discount and we'll use that money we could have spent on him and get some receivers that are desperately needed.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, as long as we get him the targets, I think that we'll be back for Super Bowl.
100%.
What are we on? 54, I think?
Something like that.
We'll be back for the Super Bowl next
year.
year. And we're moving in the right direction here.
I have to bring it up. The Bill Belichick also stole the show, flashing the 3 Super Bowl rings. I don't know why he didn't have all 6. I don't know, but 3, that's more than most.
Yeah.
And let me say, it was right in there was a field of boos.
Yeah, they were huge. I mean, I knew they were big, but
filled up his whole hand.
Seriously, no wonder if he put 6 on.
He would have been on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't hold him up.
Exactly.
But Belichick's surrounded by all the boos, and he just goes, flashes up those 3 rings.
Oh yeah.
And of course, he was at Gronk's beach party, which
was
huge.
Awesome. You know what? I wanted Gronk back, but as a New England fan, we have to appreciate everything he's done for us, and he deserves nothing more than to be partying in Miami whenever he wants to.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm happy for Gronk. I hope he's enjoying retirement. At least his head's not getting beat in anymore. You know.
That's definitely what I think about the most is. Of course, it would be amazing to see him return, but I mean, the guy, can he even survive if he goes on the field?
I mean, it's a huge problem in the NFL, and if I was Gronk, I'd do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why? He has all the money he could need.
He's still involved within the sport.
Yeah.
He's on the Fox broadcast now, which some don't like, some do. I'm still a little bit neutral on it.
I am too. It's some of the things he does I like, and then
some
others
of the things are kind of cringy, but there also is that once in a while he comes in with the good insight or just like, a little Patriots like nugget that you didn't know he had in his mind.
Exactly.
You kind of realize that, this guy looks like all dumb and everything, and he comes across that way, but he's not too dumb.
No, he isn't. He could very well be misinterpreted if you look quick.
Definitely.
But we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk Friars hoops and the Red Sox. A lot to talk about the Red Sox.
And then later we might hit on some Astros cheating scandals, see what we have time for. But when we come back, expect a lot more. You're listening to WDM 91.3 PC Radio.
This is Robbie Cannon and Ben Bellotti.
How you doing? We're back.
We're back. We're gonna talk Sox now. Red Sox.
Whew.
A lot is going on.
So much. I don't even know where to start. There's been so much that's happening between the cheating controversy, new managers, spring training, pitchers and catchers reported today, and then do I even want to say it? No, I don't, but I have to. The blockbuster Mookie Betts trade to the Dodgers.
Wow. I just took that in, like all of it.
I'm about to shed a tear.
It's so much.
There's so much. This offseason has been terrible for the Red Sox.
So much.
The only good thing is Chaim Bloom has come in, but then arguably it's not even that good for some Red Sox fans because what does he do? He trades Mookie Betts and David Price. Now, I understand. I'm one of the fans that can rationalize it, but do I like it? No. But anyway, the trade that happened sent Mookie Betts to the Dodgers and David Price to the Dodgers. Then the Red Sox then received Alex Verdugo, an outfielder, and two prospects. Jeter Downs, a shortstop, most likely going to be a second baseman, and then Connor Wong, a catcher/utility player. So what this trade did for the Red Sox was ultimately get them under the luxury tax, but even this deal in itself had controversy. It was announced, and first it was Betts and Price to the Dodgers. We get a Twins prospect, and the Dodgers then send one of their players to the Twins. So the Twins were still involved in this three-team trade, but instead we didn't like the medical records on the Twins pitcher they were sending us. So now what happened was the Twins send another prospect along with the pitching prospect we wanted to the Dodgers. They send Cash and Kenta Maeda, a pitcher, to the Twins. And then we send Cash, Mookie Betts, David Price to the Dodgers for Alex Verdugo, Jeter Downs, and Connor Wong. So arguably with this new trade, I think the Red Sox got more value. It would have been nice to see them get an arm, but we got a top prospect in Jeter Downs, number 44 ranked by MLB Pipeline, number 5 in the Dodgers system. And Connor Wong, another good prospect. He's a all-right hitter, very good arm, supposedly, so a pretty good defensive player. He can also play second and third along with catcher. So, I don't even, at this point, am I excited for Alex Verdugo to come? Sure. But is he Mookie Betts? No.
Oh, this has got to be the worst part,
It's got to
right?
be.
Who cares that we cheated? Who cares that Core's gone? Mookie Betts was
amazing. He was stellar. I mean, this guy, but the home runs, the diving catches, the great base running, all the hits, his versatility. He was supposed to be a second baseman. He's now a Gold Glove, Platinum Glove outfielder. He's an MVP, a Silver Slugger. He's done everything. All the moments he's brought to Boston are moments that another player it will take years, if not decades, for another player like that to come around. And now he's just off the Dodgers. Mookie Betts, thank you from all Red Sox Nation. Thank you for the home runs, for all the great memories, the diving catches. My favorite one, going over the wall, basically falling over and coming up, robbing the home run to end the game. Of course, there was the 13-pitch grand slam that just happened. That was the defining moment of the 2018 season. And then David Price, a solid pitcher who got a lot of hate that wasn't warranted. I've always liked David Price. I always thought he was good, and the Dodgers get two great guys. So thank you once again from Red Sox Nation. I'm going to miss you guys. I know everyone else will, so good luck to the Dodgers, but it's pretty sad.
It is. I mean, it's tough. When you came running down the hall to tell me about Mookie, I almost didn't believe it, but
I sprinted.
There's something to be said about baseball and their love for prospects. It's the only sport in which prospects are valued the way that they are.
It's one of the only sports where you have a farm system like this, so you have to value the prospects.
Exactly. So hopefully for the sake of Red Sox fans and the Red Sox themselves, these three prospects that we got turn out to be pretty good. None of them will ever be Mookie.
And no, Alex Verdugo, MLB ready player. He should make an impact. Hopefully right away, above average defensive player. So that could be good. Jeter Downs. This one is interesting to me. I like Jeter Downs. He's a good prospect. Shortstop, most likely going to be our future second baseman. But what's interesting about him, Jeter, right? He was actually named after Derek Jeter. So this guy is either going to kill the Yankees or sabotage us.
Oh, boy. That could go either way, Benny.
Sure could.
Oh, man.
But
I kind of like it, though. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's a great story when he becomes a Red Sox great.
Oh, yeah.
But so you kind of already got into it. You said that, where do you see guys playing? Who's going to fill in for Mookie? Who's going to be starting in right field on opening day, in your opinion?
Alex Verdugo is going to be in the outfield. Whether it's center field or right field. Right field in Fenway Park has more ground, so maybe they'll move Jackie Bradley over to right field while Verdugo gets center. But one of the two, it's going to either be a platoon of them. But our outfield's going to be Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr., and now Alex Verdugo.
Which is still a top 5 outfield in the league, correct?
I'd say so. Maybe, I'd have to really look into it, but off the top of my head, if all the guys perform the way they can, at least defensively, absolutely.
And then what do you think for the infield? So we'll still have Bogarts and Devers over on the left side.
So those guys are going in. We got Devers at third, obviously. Bogarts short. Second base, it's going to be a platoon most likely. We signed a low-key guy from the Reds. His name's slipping my mind, but he might be some slotted time at second base. Michael Chavis. He's on the younger side, but he's been in the league for 3 or 4 years now. But Michael Chavis is going to have some time at second base along with first base. We re-signed Mitch Moreland, so he'll be first baseman along with Chavis too. Down in the minors, we have a player named Bobby Dahlback. He's supposed to be very good, so expect him probably midway up in the season to take over first base.
Oh, okay.
First base, third base. He'll be stuck at first though.
Yep.
Catcher Christian Vasquez and. Then J.D. Martinez, our DH. But what's scary about this deal is if we don't re-sign Mookie in 2021, J.D. Martinez has an opt-out. Why would he want to be on a team without Mookie Betts, his guy?
You are right.
If the Red Sox don't have a good year, J.D. might walk,
which
is not good. But
yeah, that would be tough.
I mean, this team, though, don't get me wrong. We're still a good team. The Red Sox are still a good team. Are they a winning the division team? No. Not with the Tampa Bay Rays and the New York Yankees as good as they are right now. The Yankees arguably are the favorites to win the World Series. They're most definitely going to win the division unless something drastic happens. Red Sox will probably be a third-place team again, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean, everyone's doubting them. Maybe a spark will be lit and they'll go off and have a great run.
Yep.
But I'm expecting, 86, 87 wins from this team.
All right. So there's our movie talk, little season preview. Let's talk about the managers before we talk about cheating. Yeah, let's talk about cheating.
It goes
first.
hand in hand.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the cheating scandal and getting rid of Cora and then our search.
Alex Cora got fired because of the Astros cheating scandal. If you want to hear more about the Astros cheating scandal, we'll either talk about it later in the show or Thursday on our show. But anyway, Cora got fired because of that. And then what's upsetting is there's been reports and interviews with A.J. Hinch and new leaked information from their general manager. The cheating scandal was started from the front office. The report said Alex Cora started the whole thing. He did not. He just sat there and took the blame. So he's arguably fired without warrant. And now the Red Sox don't have a manager. They have announced plans to hire one, but don't have a manager. And guess what? Spring training started today, and we technically don't have a manager.
That's
now,
not good.
our most likely manager and the one that's said to be announced after the verdict to the 2018 investigation of the Red Sox comes out, which we'll get into soon, is Ron Renneke, our third base coach. Renneke managed the Brewers for 4 years. He's been the third base coach. He was hired by Alex Cora, so he started in 2018. The Red Sox love him. He's an older guy, but hopefully he has some of Cora's mindset. But I mean, these players were devastated when Cora left.
Yeah. So I'll just say a couple words about Cora. Then I want to talk about the coach that we're likely going to be bringing in or moving up, I guess. So Cora obviously brought us a World Series. Played back in the day. He's going to be missed. He was well liked by, I don't know, a Red Sox fan who didn't like him.
Everyone liked him.
From the players to the fans. So obviously it's unfortunate that he's gone, especially in the way that it happened. Like you don't ever want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But moving forward, as we have a season, which you said started today, essentially.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers reported today.
Chris Sale, I see a video of him on.
Oh yeah. Christian Vasquez and Chris Sale are getting after it with no manager.
Oh man,
we have a new pitching coach, but no manager.
So when Ben told me about the potential new manager, who's the third base coach, Renneke, is that his
Ron
name?
Renneke, yes.
Yeah. So when he told me that, I was just sitting at the dining hall eating, and I almost dropped my sandwich. I was like, a third base coach,
right?
And thinking that Ben would agree and be like, dude, that's horrible. But Ben, he looked at me and he's like, I like it. You said that you liked it.
I mean, it's no Alex Cora.
Once you read me his resume, I kind of was like, you know what? So I didn't know he had head coaching experience.
Right. He's been a manager with the Brewers from 11 to 2015. He's been a minor league coach before. He's, like I said, he's on the older side, but he was brought in by Cora, so hopefully he has his beliefs. And some of his mannerisms that the players loved.
That was the other part that I liked was that well, one, it's always good for the camaraderie of the team to keep someone who they already know, but also I like that he came in with Cora, won the World Series, so I think that it would be a good hire. Right. I knew nothing about him until Ben told me, but
and then Robbie not being a huge baseball guy, you thinking third base coach, what? But you got to understand, the first and third base coaches that's just like their secondary thing.
Yeah,
they're also, some of them are hitting instructors, outfield coaches, base running coaches, so they know the game too.
No, literally, I mean, I thought that the third base coach studied the speed of our guys to see whether they see who he wants to send where, and the arm of the three outfielders. That was literally, I was like, he's doing some quick calculations to see if Jackie Bradley can make it home on a double from first base.
Which he is, but he's got a lot of other stuff on his plate as well. So, I mean, they know how to coach. They're good coaches. But it is a little odd when you hear something like that. Normally you think the former manager, or in today's age, someone just completely new. Aaron Boone, obviously a former player, but he came from ESPN. Alex Cora, former player, never managerial experience, bench coach, but that was his first coaching job as well. So a lot of teams are moving in the direction of hiring, not the conventional manager, but I like this move. I miss Alex Cora, but I mean, maybe he'll be back. Who knows? There's been talks that he could be.
So if you want to just talk, you already mentioned the Rays and Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
So the Orioles, I'm assuming, are going to be bad again.
Orioles, 65 win team max.
Okay, so where do you see the Red Sox falling within the division then?
Like I said, probably third place, maybe a chance at second. But the Rays have made moves to get good. They've made they traded their player Tommy Pham to the Padres for Hunter Renfroe and a young prospect. They just made another move, with the Padres again, getting their center fielders. So their outfield is looking good with Renfroe, Kevin Kiermaier, and now Manuel Margot, who's a tremendous speedster and defender. They also, of course, have the returning guys that many people don't know, but perform well. The Chaim Bloom of the Red Sox now came from the Rays. He's kind of doing what the Rays were doing and making all these small moves in order to, make impactful players. They get little players, make little deals here and there, and then these guys perform like crazy. They just, they're just banking on they have one good asset, whether it's hitting home runs or whatever. We got a call, so let's take that. We can find the phone. There it is. Hello, you're on the line.
Hi, I just have a quick question about the Mookie Betts trade.
Shoot.
For an over-under, do you think Mookie will have more or less than 8 hits?
More in what? Like one game?
Yeah.
In one game less. Definitely. But over in the season over.
Less than 8 hits?
In one game, yeah. Maybe 6.
Okay.
Maybe 6.
6? Okay.
All right, it takes a lot to get 8 at bats.
It does. He could do it.
Be a long game. Extra innings, you think?
Yeah, it could happen in extra innings. He's gone 4-4 back-to-back games, so, it could happen.
That was my question. Thank you for the very right answer.
Of course.
Appreciate your call.
Thanks for the call. Yeah. So, that's
We're worried.
the
That
Tampa Bay
good
Rays.
call. We appreciate your call. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. It's my friend Nick, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice of Nick to call in. Always nice to hear from some guests.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, like I was saying, the Rays, they're not a bad team at all. They were in second place last year. I expect them to maintain and even get better. Maybe how many wins did they have last year? I see you're looking at
The Rays, they had 96.
96, right? So I knew it was in the 90 range. I expect them to be right around the same or even more.
You think they can get the triple digits?
Not with the Yankees.
All right. From an outsider baseball, like Ben said, I'll if there's a Sunday night baseball game on, there's nothing else on TV midsummer, and I'm sitting on the couch, I'll watch a couple innings. But until October, I'm not watching that much. I'll follow the Red Sox, see if they won. But from an outsider's view, it feels like the Rays went from last to where they are in like 2 years. Like what happened?
They've been sneaky good for a number of years now. But basically they just know how to play the game. Like their front office is great. They have one of the lowest payrolls in baseball. They just find these guys like Brandon Lowe is probably one of their top guys right now. How many people, aside from avid baseball fans, have heard of him? Maybe one. But they're good at getting prospects and finding guys that have unique skills, very versatile players. They take a unique approach to the game, and their front office just operates in a way that allows them to be this good in such a short period of time to transition. I mean, it's hard when you have no payroll,
Yep. So I assume that you got the Yankees atop the division.
I do, unfortunately, but I mean, how could you not? With a fully healthy team this year, they're gonna be better than they were before. You add Garrett Cole, the most dominant pitcher in baseball right now. You're bound to get more wins from that. I mean, the guy won 20 games, I think, last year.
Yep.
He started in over 30. He didn't lose a game since May until he lost one in the postseason. So, I mean, this is a guy. He's a winner. He's bound to bring them more wins.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the World Series odds right. The Yankees are heavy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the Yankees and Dodgers are heavy favorites.
Who's slided higher, Dodgers or Yankees?
The Yankees are just ahead of them.
Really?
Yep.
So in my opinion, I take the Dodgers over the Yankees.
Okay.
That with Mookie Betts, and I think David Price is going to perform better with the Dodgers than he did with the Red Sox.
I mean, so the Red Sox here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's quite a number of teams.
They're 15th. I mean, so
Yeah.
they're
not.
They're calling them an average baseball team this year.
I think that might be close to right.
You think so? Wow.
Well, okay. They still have one of the best offenses in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you lose Mookie Betts, which brings you down. But if Chavis has a good season and Devers and Bogarts have the same season they did, JD Martinez, they're not a bad offensive team. What really hurts them is we lost Rick Porcello to free agency. We just traded David Price. Nathan Eovaldi, you never know what you're going to get from him health-wise. Our rotation right now is 2 guys that are definite. The rest of them are up in the air. We have Eduardo Rodriguez and Nathan Eovaldi. And Eovaldi might not even be healthy enough to pitch a full season.
Yeah.
So the pitching is what needs to be fixed. We signed another guy, low-key. He had about like a 4 ERA, so that hopefully maybe he'll be good. It's serviceable. Other than that, we have Brian Johnson in the minors, who was sent back down. He'll probably make the club. He'll probably make the big league club this year. Maybe be a fifth starter. Who knows? The pitching needs to be fixed, but that's really what's bringing them down.
Interesting. All right, so I'm looking at. I got odds for every team. Give me your dark horse to make a World Series run, because the Nationals can't have been that. I mean, going into last year, they weren't. They
were looking like a good team, but not World Series.
Right. So who were the Nationals of 2020?
Well, the Nationals are not the Nationals anymore, losing Anthony Rendon to the Angels. So
let's see what
they're definitely not my dark horse.
Nationals
still a good team, but not as good. My dark horse.
They got the 7th best odds.
This one's a stretch. So are we talking World Series run or postseason run?
Give me a postseason. Anything can happen when you get into the postseason.
That's true.
Give me a postseason run, then give me a World Series run.
Okay, Cincinnati Reds are my dark horse for the postseason.
Okay.
Definitely, in my opinion, they should make the wild card. I don't see them really making anything above the wild card, but I think if they make it that far, they can really make a run. They added Mike Moustakas, Moose, as they call him. Nick Castellanos, an outfielder, and now they have a full year of Trevor Bauer, who hopefully will turn things around. This is a good-looking team, along with pitcher Sonny Gray, who was a Cy Young candidate last year, surprisingly, so he can continue that. They're not a bad team.
So to put that into perspective for the viewers, or for the listeners, the Reds have the same World Series odds as the Red Sox. So Vegas is seeing them as a...
I mean, the Red Sox could be a wild card team, so if it's the same odds, I don't see why the Cincinnati Reds couldn't be.
Interesting take there by our guy. And then give me a World Series dark horse.
So, a dark horse or just not the obvious?
Just not the obvious. I want someone beside the Yankees, Dodgers, Astros, Braves, and Mets.
Dang.
The Cardinals.
I was going to say the Braves.
Okay, the Braves are the 4th best odds.
I was going to say that I think the Braves have... I mean, arguably, probably the 4th best chance. The odds kind of tell it right. But for the World Series, it's tough because, like, those teams are so good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Braves really were going to be my pick. But if I can't pick them, this might sound crazy. The Minnesota Twins.
Twins, okay, they're not far below. They're top 10 odds.
Top 10, all right. They're my dark horse.
Okay.
They added Josh Donaldson. They already had a tremendous offense. Their pitching's not terrible. They're not a bad team.
Interesting. Like I said, I know Mike Trout. Are the Angels? Is he ever going to make a run? Are they ever going to add the guys that he needs to?
They're making the postseason this year.
Are they? Because they're down there. They're pretty far down.
They're in a hard division. But I like their chances.
Do you? And they're tied with the Brewers, who have Yelich, right?
Yeah.
They're both
this Angels team is looking better. They got Anthony Rendon along with Mike Trout, one of the best 1-2 punches in baseball right now. So that could be good. They're not bad. Shohei Ohtani's coming back to the mound, the Babe Ruth of our generation. So, I mean,
that just doesn't hit the air right there, Benny. The Babe Ruth of our generation.
He is. He hits and he pitches.
Man.
He does it all.
I know. ESPN loves him. I know.
All right. Okay.
It's unbelievable. He's the Mahomes of the MLB, in my opinion.
No. But Babe Ruth was also criminally overrated, in my opinion.
Oh my goodness.
He was playing against guys that were milkmen for their second jobs, going on paper routes. He was the only one that just sat there and hit baseballs. If he played in the game today, and I know the game changes a lot, but he would be the equivalent of someone like Adam Dunn. Strikes out 250 times, hits 40 bombs. That's it.
Adam Dunn. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. Was he a White Sox? Who did he play for?
He might have been on the White Sox. I'm pretty sure
Adam Dunn.
He was on the Reds for a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
The Reds, right?
The Reds,
yep.
the Reds, the Nationals, the A's, the White Sox.
There you go. You're right.
For them all. I got that right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But anyway, the Angels aren't going to look that bad. I hope they make a run because Mike Trout desperately needs to be on the big screen. I mean, this guy's a star. I know you don't love him that much because he doesn't have that personality.
No, on the field, I mean nothing but respect. He's the best in the game, and
100%.
There's no debate about it. But last night, Ben and I were talking about how you're gonna see Mookie Betts in every single commercial now that he's out in LA.
You probably will.
But you don't see Mike Trout on just because. And that's nothing against him. I actually respect the fact that he's still the most down to earth guy, being the best, literally the best player in the
out
league.
there.
But it's just, I don't know. It's the way that he carries himself, and he's almost too humble for someone to have his stature.
Well, but then you look at someone like Derek Jeter, right?
Yep.
He wasn't too humble, but he was a humble guy. He knew how to carry himself in front of the media. The only difference between him and Trout, Jeter was in New York. Now, I know what you're thinking. L.A. is huge, but L.A. is not a baseball place. The Los Angeles Dodgers broadcast, you have to buy it as an extra package for TV. The own Dodgers fans can barely even watch their games unless it's on Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. So now I think that might change. Hopefully it will, and they're definitely going to get way more attention now that they have Price and Mookie. And Mookie definitely will help that. But I hear what you're saying. But Mike Trout, if he does have a personality.
He does.
He's got a little faux hawk going. He's at all the Eagles games.
Good.
He's got a huge jacked up truck he drives around. I mean, this guy's not known with no personality. He just doesn't like to show it off.
So he's not like Kawhi Leonard and stuff.
Right.
Okay.
But one thing, not to turn this into a Mike Trout conversation completely, but one thing that is absolutely really cool, and I wish got more attention, you know how all these guys, they get their high school numbers retired, their college numbers retired? Mike Trout, his high school number still out there. You want to know why? Because every single year, he goes back to his high school in New Jersey, and he presents his number 1 jersey to the next team captain. So every year, the team captain of Millville, New Jersey High School is getting their jersey handed to them from Mike Trout.
That's incredible.
Right?
They better have a good team. That's all I'm going to say.
Imagine
being that captain, he hands you your jersey, and then you go like 0-16, and that'd be tough.
It would be a tough look. It would be a tough look.
But I mean, you got to be pretty good if Mike Trout's handing you a jersey.
Yeah, you do. But I think that just speaks to his character. Most guys would be like, "Oh, my number should be retired." No, he wants it to live on in other players.
Yep. So we'll go with. I got one more question for Ben, then we'll get off this baseball talk.
Right, and take a quick break after that.
So my last question is, the Dodgers now. I know. I mean, at least from my point of view, they have big names on top of big names.
No, they 100% do.
So the top 5 guys in that batting order, or like in the lineup. What is the top of that lineup gonna look like? I assume Mookie leads off.
I have one word to describe what that lineup is gonna look like. Dangerous.
I mean, they got Bellinger, Peterson. Who else?
Well, Jock Peterson is on the trading block.
Is he?
Right, but they still have. So, looking at the projected lineup, here's what most sites have. They got Mookie Betts leading off. Max Muncy playing first or second base, Justin Turner third, Cody Bellinger. That's your top 4. And then the list of names just keeps on going on. Corey Seager, he could break out a year. He's been a tremendous player. He was just recovering from surgery last year. A.J. Pollock, another notable outfield name. Will Smith, young rookie catcher, stud. Gavin Lux, stud.
Oh, boy.
Stud prospect. But, I mean, this lineup, the top 4 is incredible. No matter which way you rearrange it.
Yep.
And then after that, it's just you almost have another top 4 right under it.
That is scary to look at.
But yeah, Mookie Betts, in my opinion, was definitely leading off. I would put Cody Bellinger second or third. They have him hitting 4th in this projected lineup. My lineup, personally, would be Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, Justin Turner, then Max Muncy hitting 4th.
Okay. Interesting. So all right, one last question. We got to get to break, so I want a one-word answer from you.
All right.
Within the next 5 years, is the NL going to have a DH instead of the pitcher? Yes? All right, you heard it from Ben first. I think that they should. I think it's crazy that the pitchers are hitting. Give a quick answer.
There was a report about this. I don't know if you saw it. The DH may come to the NL in next year.
Really?
So
Okay.
I mean, but
it's
even
way
if
past that time.
even if that report
It's overdue.
Even if that report did not come out, my answer would
still
still be
think so?
yes. My answer would still be yes.
All right.
So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, what's on the table, Rob? What we got lined up?
We got some Friars hoops to talk about.
Let's go. Love to talk about our Friars.
They've rebounded a lot since we were
Right.
last talking to you guys.
So we'll come back with
that's
that.
good. And then so that's after the break, and we'll see you in a couple minutes.
All right. You're listening to WDOM 91.3.
Welcome back to Behind the Dish with Robbie Cannon and Ben Bellotti. You're listening to WDOM 91.3.
Just a quick announcement for all those PC students out there. Just so everyone knows, the black and white ball tickets are sold out. Just a reminder, though, the black and white ball is this Friday, February 14th on Valentine's Day, so hope to see you there.
We'll be there.
We will. Dancing it up.
Hopefully.
All right, so what's coming off the bench right now?
We're talking Friars hoops.
Let's go.
Coming off the bench with Friars hoops.
Against
We're
Creighton?
going to go to the Creighton game.
Creighton recap.
Always a good sign. Mr. Andrew Fonts and Mr. Tommy Dempsey came off the bench. You know what that means for Friars hoops?
Huge win. That's what that means.
Huge win. So let's rewind to almost a week ago tomorrow. We had the number 23 Creighton Blue Jays come into town to take on the Friars in what was a must-win game for the Friars. I mean, we're not going to harp on what happened before. We put ourselves into a hole.
We did.
I know that. You know that. Everyone knows that in the non-conference play. But we've played very well in conference play. And we beat number 23 Creighton 73-56 a week ago on Wednesday. So let's talk. I'll talk a little bit about Creighton first. I love the Creighton team. I think that they have a very good team. They're well coached.
Definitely.
McDermott's a great coach. For those of you who don't know, his son, Greg McDermott's son, is Doug McDermott, who is one of the leading scorers in the history of the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
Plays in the NBA now. He played for Creighton under his dad a couple of years back. But I love this Creighton team. One, because come March, I like this team come March. They have the guard play. Tyshawn Alexander and Marcus Zagorowski are very, 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 very good. I think they're the most underrated backcourt in the country. The reason why we won, in my opinion, at least by a landslide that we did win by, was because we held Zagorowski to 3 points. I'm gonna guess that's his season low.
I would say so, but you want? I'm sorry to cut you off, but you want to know? You want to know my reason why I think we won?
I know what you're gonna say, but just say it.
AJ Reeves.
Yes, that's a very fair argument.
22 points.
22 points for AJ. 6 for 8 from deep, I believe it was.
Most of those points coming in the second half, if I might add.
Yeah, he's been big for us coming down the stretch lately. Almost a month ago, I said, when he was still putting up 6 points a game, I said he is passing the eye test. He's going to be back very soon.
Robbie did say that, confirmed.
And here he is. Here he is. Now the numbers are backing up the eye test that he was passing. I couldn't be happier with the way that his game is progressing. He's getting back. He's healthy. He looks as healthy as he's been. David Duke. Let's put this Creighton game on a hold quick. And over break, I mean, this is our first show since coming back from break.
Mm-hmm.
David went from our best player to one of the best players in the Big East.
Yeah.
Like, in the split of it, like.
And the numbers don't exactly show that because he's not averaging as many points as he was or in previous years or even some games earlier this season, but he's doing all the little things right.
Yeah. So he had the huge showing at Creighton.
That was a big game for him.
Where he put up 35, 36.
Over 30.
Yeah. And we lost. It was in a losing effort. He played very, very, very well. And that was his true coming out party.
Oh yeah.
But like Ben said, his numbers, I mean, I'm looking at
they're not terrible
right now.
By all means, they're good numbers.
He put up 12, 6, and 4 against Creighton. That's what I want out of I don't want my point guard to put up 20 and no assist. I love that I look at him as a point guard, but I don't know if we really have a point guard. We kind of just have a couple guards who will take care of the ball. but he's doing everything I want. When the game's on the line, I want the ball in his hands. He's been playing well. So back to the Creighton game. It started with AJ. I think it started with David. David hit a couple threes early.
Honestly,
and then AJ just took it from there.
Nate Watson had a big game.
That was the other guy I was going to talk about. So we're going to preview the St. John's game after this,
right?
Which we play tomorrow, February 12th. And you'll hear more about Nate, at least from me, come that. But Nate against Creighton played in 16 minutes, so he didn't play that much. That's just kind of, I'm assuming that Ed, the way that he felt the game was flowing, because of Creighton does have so many guards. Nate, he can't cover. He's not quick enough to cover those guards.
And Khalif Young,
is
known as the better defensive player out of the two.
Yes, he's a very, very good defender. So he played 24 minutes. But Nate, in 16 minutes, he had 11 points and 6 rebounds. You want to talk about efficiency? I mean, if he doubles those to 32 minutes, you're looking at 22 and 12.
Even with just the time he played, he was a very important player in that game.
Yep.
I mean, with those rebounds, really, all the rebounds, we had, the Friars had a lot of rebounds this game. I mean, Khalif Young had 7, Malik White had 6, Duke had 6, Diallo had 6, Watson had 6, AJ Reeves had 3, Greg Gant had 3. Yeah. I mean, without those rebounds, I mean, like, Creighton's a ranked team.
Exactly.
They should get those points.
Yeah, that's what we do best. We always, even the shots might not be falling, but we're always on the board somehow. But so the Friars, they're moving in the right direction. So that was a big win that they got over Creighton. So coming off that, they go on the road to Xavier, who's they're not ranked, but
another good team.
They're a good team.
I mean, this Big East is filled with good teams.
There's no
ranked
nights
or not.
off.
There's no nights off. Every team's a good team.
So they roll into Creighton wearing the throwback uniforms, which is big.
4-0 in the throwbacks, I might add.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
now 4-1.
4-1. But I'll let Robbie talk about this game. I didn't watch too much of it. I was preoccupied. But Robbie, why don't you talk a little bit out of it?
I was up at the sports book watching the game. So you can't bet on the Friars in
Rhode Island.
In Rhode Island, so I didn't have any money on them. I had a couple of other games I had money on. So I was kind of back and forth. But I'm always watching my Friars. So we came out hot. It felt like we were in control for 30 minutes of the game. In the last 10, it was almost like, can we hang on?
Right.
And when it's like that, maybe you can do it for the last 5 minutes, but
not
10 minutes is a long time. We ended up giving up the lead, and we took a tough loss. But like I said, just to win a game on the road in the Big East is very, very difficult. We lost 64-58.
Our guys played well, though, for the most part.
Yep.
I mean, Watson had 16 points. Diallo had 14. David had 12.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't playing poorly.
No, we weren't. We just ran into a very good team. Actually, they are. They're gonna be a tournament team. They're deep. They're big. So this was two similar styles clashing. We slow down the game. We play methodically, physical. These were the two most physical teams in the Big East, in my opinion. It was literally, it was like a war out there. I mean, whoa. It was crazy.
Well, let me stop you right there, Rob. Is this right? Jones had 18 rebounds?
Yep, that is right.
Wow.
14 points, 18 rebounds.
What a game.
Like I said, that's Xavier basketball. That's what we do.
That's what we do too.
It was. If you're not a basketball enthusiast, you wouldn't have enjoyed the slugfest that was didn't even reach 65 points on either side. But I mean, I thought it was great. It stinks that the Friars couldn't hold on. But like I said, I mean, right when they went live on air and I saw the sold out arena jumping up and down as if the Friars were the number one team in the country coming into town, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a tough one. And we came out, we showed a lot of grit. So
I mean, there obviously a loss is always negative in a sense, but there was positives that came out of this game. I mean, like I said, Watson, Diallo, and Duke all had over 10 points, and I really like to see that from Alpha coming back, playing after being benched against Nova, right?
Yep.
He's really come back strong and proven that he can be a useful player, and he really has been doing a pretty good job since he's been playing again.
So the one negative that I have about the Friars is, or about that game is AJ Reeves got 1 3-point attempt.
Right.
Well, I don't know how we changed that. Part of it is he has to be he's got to be more aggressive himself, but also part of it is got to be other guys got to get him involved.
Other guys got to make room for him.
Right,
set some screens.
And coach has got to get him more involved. There's no one to blame for it. Everybody takes a little part.
It also could just be a different strategy for a different team.
Right, but I mean he is an integrity. He's got to be involved.
I agree.
At least more than that. 1 3-pointer for the best 3-point shooter on a team can't happen. And I foresee that changing tomorrow night when we go up to St. John's. So we'll talk a little about. First, we'll talk about where we stand in the Big East. So right now, we are tied for 5th in the Big East, which is the best conference in the country.
We were at 3rd after that Creighton win.
Yep. But some things got shaken up this weekend. So Seton Hall's won at 10-1. They come into town. They come into town on Saturday. We'll be there. We're not going to preview that one today. We're going to hold that off for Thursday's show. So make sure you listen in. We're also going to give a post-game recap of tomorrow's game that we're about to preview, St. John's. So the Friars, they sit tied 5th in the toughest conference in the country. That had they played well in the preseason, in the non-conference, would be plenty to get us into the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Probably as a 7, 8, 9 seed, which would be, can't ask for much more than that.
You look at our conference record, and we're not too far off from these top teams other than Seton Hall, who's just an absolute juggernaut in this league.
6-5.
Six
and 5. The second
7
team,
and 4.
7-4.
They're all tied.
And we split with Creighton.
Right.
I believe we beat Marquette. We beat Marquette.
Did.
We haven't got them again though.
No, they're coming back.
They're coming
next
here.
week.
They're coming here soon.
I think
so
next
we
week.
could take 2 from them, which would be
we
huge.
We beat Butler, who we're tied with.
We split with Butler.
Right.
And Nova, we lost to, and we have to go there. So odds are we're going to drop 2 to them. That's a tough place to go.
This league is insanely well matched, aside from DePaul and Seton Hall, who have opposite records in the conference.
Exactly.
You look at the only thing that takes us from being not in the tournament is, like Robbie was saying, our overall record. We just didn't play good out of conference, which is something, looking back on, is something that kind of makes you a little upset. But we've been playing so well in the Big East. Even the games we've lost, we haven't gotten blown out.
Right, we're still as the media would say, on the bubble.
Right,
we're still right in the mix.
At least for a student, it makes every game in the Big East has been an entertaining game to watch.
Yeah. So the upcoming schedule for the Friars: St. John's, Seton Hall, Georgetown, Marquette, Villanova, Xavier, DePaul. So that's 8 games. If we go 5-3, if we find a way to get 6-2,
right,
then all we need to do is win 1 game.
So you gotta hope that DePaul is an automatic win.
Right. You figure DePaul at home, we're gonna take care of.
Right.
You figure tomorrow, we'll just preview tomorrow's game, and we'll kind of look ahead. Hopefully Thursday after a big win tomorrow night on the road. So let's preview that one quick.
St. John's, they're 2-9 in Big East play, which brings them into 9th place in the Big East.
Yep.
13-11 overall, so they were playing pretty well outside of the conference. I mean, you can't necessarily call them a bad team because they're in the Big East,
exactly.
and this league is so dominant this year.
We took care of them a couple weeks back, almost a month ago on January 15th. Beat them 63-58 here in Providence. They're not a bad team, but if we want to have any chance of making the tournament, we got to win tomorrow night.
Right, and they are a better team at home statistically.
Yep.
So you think that gives them, a little better chance of beating us, but you like to think that the Friars are going to go in there and just absolutely roll over them.
Yes. So I'm gonna give my prediction for the game. I'm gonna give you a score. and I'm gonna give you our best player for the game, and then you can do the same.
All right.
So I'm gonna say that the Friars win 71-58
All right.
behind a double-double from Nate Watson.
Ooh, I like it. All right, I'm gonna stick with the theme of Friars winning.
Okay.
Score. I think the Friars are gonna put up 82.
Okay.
And then St. John's, will be somewhere. Let's go with
What did you have the Friars? 82?
80. Let's go with 82 to 73.
82.
And then the outstanding player is gonna be David Duke.
All right, so let me write these down. We're going to rehash them. So I got 71-58, Nate Watson shines for the Friars. You got 82-73, and David Duke.
Yeah, I think Dave here it's his time to pop off again.
I like that. So that's the Friars hoops. That's where we are right now. So hopefully we have some good news for you guys on Thursday.
Right.
Make sure you tune in. That's on CBS Sports Network Wednesday night. And like I said, a big game for the Friars. Friartown will be watching from here. Sadly,
this is going to be a game that really, like we said, it should be one of the easier games. But this game is really going to decide where we stand. I think at least it's gonna put a really big impact on where we stand in the Big East with pretty much the whole rest of the season.
Yep. So I was hoping to make it down there for the game, but not going to be able to.
Should we talk about some NBA Allstar Game?
Yeah, we'll talk about the All-Star Game. So first, let's talk about the format of the game.
All right.
So I don't know if you saw, honestly, when I did my research on it, the first headline that came out was like ridiculous to me. It didn't make sense. But so the new format, so it's to honor Kobe, the format of the game, which I found interesting. Well, it's obviously a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that the jerseys, which we'll get into, I thought that was plenty.
Oh, they're doing more than the jerseys, is what you're saying.
Yes.
So I've not heard of this. So why don't you take the floor and explain it?
Okay, so the way that I have interpreted it is that they're going to play so they're going to play the 4 quarters of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But for the fourth quarter, when they get there, they're going to whatever the winning team is up by,
right.
They're going to go to first to 24 from there. So it's an untimed fourth quarter. So the first team to score 24 points in the fourth wins. So if you're down big going
right, so I'm just looking at this
that's
here.
What I think it is.
This is from the NBA.com. It says the fourth quarter will be untimed and the teams will play to a final target score, which you said was 24, meaning that the game will end with a made basket or a made free throw instead of with the clock running out. So essentially,
yes,
the rest of the game doesn't even matter if you're talking about it like that, right? Is that what I'm understanding?
No, so I think it's like, so if you're down by 20 going into the fourth quarter, you have to get to 24 points before the other team gets to 5 points, essentially. Does that make sense?
Wait,
so they're gonna take
I thought it was each team is shooting for 24.
Shooting to 24.
No.
Yes, in the fourth quarter.
Right.
But like the leading up to that does matter. So I don't know. Either way, it's fuzzy.
Confusing.
It literally is. So right when it came out, I was like, that's kind of stupid. But what it is there's a good meaning behind it, I guess. So, but then like I mentioned, the jersey numbers, I think is a really good idea.
Yeah,
so,
I like that a lot.
Team Giannis is wearing number 24, the whole team for Kobe,
mm-hmm.
and Team LeBron's wearing number 2 for Gigi.
Right, I like that a lot.
And so I'm disappointed in the NBA because they're not selling the jerseys. No, I could buy a Tatum All-Star jersey, but it has a number 0 on it.
Right.
He's wearing number 24. Why can't I buy a 24 Tatum jersey?
Which, it's understandable in a sense. You look at other All-Star games, such as the MLB, when they have their commemorative All-Star jerseys with the colors of whichever
mm-hmm.
stadium they are. They have the A on the NL, but then the All-Star jerseys they wear in the actual game are just their jerseys, their actual home uniforms, whatever. So that it's kind of similar like that, but I do find it very odd that you can't buy the jersey with Kobe or Gigi's number on it. I mean, it would make sense. You could even make it so
everyone gets some percentage of sales goes to
exactly
a fund or
it goes to a charity or something
that Kobe supports, something like that. So I was disappointed in that. I still am. I don't think I'll ever buy a LeBron jersey, but that was going to be the one I was going to buy. I was going to buy a number 2 LeBron jersey.
And you have to imagine there'll be more things to honor Kobe and Gigi within this All-Star game.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that I was a little disappointed in. But let's talk about the roster. So, as you guys may or may not know, how it's no longer East versus West. There's the 2 highest vote getters become captains, and then they pick from the pool of players who were voted.
I absolutely love this.
I do too.
I think all sports should do this. I think it makes it for a lot more entertaining. It allows for some team chemistry.
I agree. I think that it's awesome. And so
this is the second year they've done it now, or third year?
It's
second
still early.
It's fairly new.
Yeah. So why don't we talk about the teams? So I got up the rosters right here. My instant reaction when they came out was, I'm going to put my life savings on Team LeBron to win this game and cover the spread. I thought Giannis did horrendous. But let's go through let's start with the starters. So Team LeBron has Anthony Davis, James Harden, who's the best scorer in the NBA, Kawhi Leonard, Luka, and obviously LeBron. The Team Giannis is Giannis, Embiid, who, in my opinion, Embiid, not a great fit for the All-Star game, which is run and gun, shoot threes. I want someone who's going to make more than 35% of their threes. Siakam, who, again, not the best shooter in the world, definitely can make them, but... And then he ends with Kemba and Trae Young, who are built for All-Star games.
I really like those 2 picks.
Those 2 are perfect for the All-Star games. But then you go down to the reserves. And this is where I think it's borderline unfair.
From first glance, I completely agree.
So, Chris Paul, who's playing very good basketball in his, I don't even know, 18th year, whatever he's in. He's been in the league forever. I have nothing but respect for him. He's amazing. He'll play well. Damian Lillard, the hottest player in the NBA.
I think he should be a starter.
I do too. I'm sad that he isn't. He'll be in the game within minutes anyway.
Of course.
And he could win MVP of the game.
Maybe. It's possible.
So yeah, he is built for an All-Star game too. He can shoot it from anywhere. He's going to be knocking down threes. Jokic, who is probably the best shooting big man in the game. Then we have Simmons, who obviously I'm not going to talk. If he shoots 1 3-pointer,
that would be a disappointment.
Shutting off the TV.
Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that Simmons made the team.
I am too.
And we'll get into this after we go over the rosters, but there's one player in particular I would really like to see over him.
Yes, we'll get in. There's 2 guys in my opinion who were huge snubs. So then we have Sabonis, Tatum. Tatum's also built really well for an All-Star game.
And Westbrook,
who just don't shoot threes. I'm not a big fan of Russ. Then we got Bam on the other side. Bam Adebayo can't shoot. Brandon Ingram, good shooter. He's coming in really, really, really good player. Then we have Donovan Mitchell can shoot it. Jimmy Butler. But then it's Rudy Gobert. What? I don't like that pick.
It's confusing.
It's a confusing pick there. Maybe he was the last one picked, honestly. I don't know. And then we got Kyle Lowry and Chris Middleton. Middleton's a bucket. He always torches the Celtics. It's no fun. But first glance, the
who would you say was the last
LeBron,
pick?
I'm assuming it was Rudy Gobert somewhere down there.
It's not. He was the 13th pick.
Sabonis makes sense. Wow, I can't believe it's Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell was the 21st pick.
Yeah, second to last pick for Donovan Mitchell. Wow.
That's crazy.
But so yeah, that's the teams. I think that Trae Young. I like all the.
Honestly, I think Trae Young. This might be a bold take. I'm not exactly sure if it is or not. I think Trae Young could be the MVP of this game.
I do too. I like Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell. I like one of the two, but
Yeah.
there's just
Don't count out Harden. Don't
Yeah.
count out Harden.
no. There's just so many guys. I'm thinking if I had to rank my 4, I don't as a captain of the team. I think that LeBron is gonna find a way.
I think Team LeBron's gonna come away with the win for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
So when
But
you
I
say
think
your top 4, are you talking top 4 to win MVP
To
or
win
top 4
MVP.
players
To
on the
win
team?
MVP. So
All right, let's hear it.
I think I'm going to put LeBron 1
Okay.
because I think that despite it being the All-Star game, I think he's gonna kind of
he's still gonna be dominant.
he's gonna dial it up, and I think he's gonna play a little harder this year. Because there's some video. Him and Kobe would go at it during the All-Star games, and I think he's gonna kind of do that for Kobe. He's not gonna lose this game. And then so I got him first. Then I have Damian Lillard. Then I have Trae Young. Then I have Harden. Those are the 4. Because ultimately it comes down to who scores the most points, and I think that those 3 guards could easily score just a million
All
points.
right. My top 4, not being the most educated basketball guy, but I do know these
Yeah, you
guys.
can't go wrong with anyone.
All right. I got no particular order.
Yep.
Trae Young, Harden, Westbrook, and Damian Lillard.
All right, I like all those. The only one I'm a skeptic of Russ, but
I am too.
It's the
but-
All-Star game. He's gonna play hard. He's athletic. You could be right on that. You could be right. We'll see. I think that I don't think he's gonna have a great night. Hopefully not, because I'm just not a big fan of Russ.
I'm not a huge fan either, but I know he can play.
Yep. He is probably the best athlete in the game, aside from Brown. So we'll see. But let's talk about the snubs who should be in the game.
We got a call
We
coming
get a
in.
call. So we'll hold the snubs. We'll get this call, and then we will come back.
Hello, you are on the air.
Hi, Ben.
Hello.
It's Jordan.
Hey, Jordan, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. We're just talking about the NBA All-Star Game right now.
I don't know much about the NBA, but, I think it's going to be a good one. I know it's in Chicago.
Oh yeah. We think Team LeBron's gonna come away with the win. You got anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think LeBron and his team's going to take it because, he has a good team going,
Yeah, for sure.
from what I've heard.
We completely agree with that take.
Yep. Who's your favorite player in the game?
Right now,
Yeah.
that's a good question. Probably Taco.
Of course.
Yep.
So Jordan,
Yeah, he is.
Jordan's a New England guy. Big
Good answer.
big hockey guy. He is.
Oh, okay. Oh, did you
Oh,
watch?
yeah,
Did you
big
watch the Bean Pot last night?
Oh my God, it was crazy.
It was. I mean, I'm not a huge hockey fan, but my roommate was watching it, so I watched it with him.
It was a very intense game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boston University tied up with like 1 second left in the game.
Are you a BU guy or Northeastern guy?
No, I'm a BC guy.
Oh, that's no fun.
No.
at least not this year. I don't know. How are they doing?
Yeah,
How are they doing overall? Pretty good.
Overall, BC's doing pretty well. They got a great goalie, Spencer Knight, drafted to the Panthers.
Okay. Interesting.
All right. Well, thank you for the call, Jordan. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Great talking to you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, see you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you for the
Yeah.
call. We
Great
always
call.
appreciate calls.
Great call. We always appreciate the calls.
If you want to call
Nice and
in,
great.
401-865-2091. That's our station number.
We'll say it one more time. 401-865-2091.
There you go.
So where were snubs.
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker
I'm going
is
to
number one.
shout it from the rooftop.
Number 1, Devin Booker. Number 2, Bradley Beal.
I mean, come
Those
on.
two guys are both averaging almost 30, I believe.
That's nuts.
Let me find this. Devin Booker is got to be averaging almost 30 points a game. If he isn't. I mean, it's ridiculous that he didn't make it. He's averaging 26.4 points a game, 6 assists. I can't believe he's not in this game. Neither can anyone else.
No,
No one else can either.
I mean, how do you pick like some of these guys over Devin Booker?
I
mean,
agree.
Like, how does Rudy Gobert get in instead of Booker?
I don't know. I don't know, Ben. I really don't.
It's
I
upsetting.
Wish I knew. I wish
it's
I
just
knew.
upsetting. That's what
But
it is.
then we have Bradley Beal, who is maybe a bigger snub. He's averaging 29 points a game. That's astronomical. Like, for someone to be averaging almost 30 a night and not make the All-Star game is like, it's baffling. That's the only word that comes to mind.
Yeah.
So I think that the way that I think the voting needs to be changed. I think there should be if the 20 best players in the game are all guards and forwards, we don't need a front court per se. Rudy Gobert, we don't need to have one center in the game if that's the case. So I'd like them to get rid of the front court and back court thing, which I know like technically it could be the front court could just be a bunch of small forwards, but still, I think that because then you can only have there's more good guards in the league than there are forwards and wings. So
Right.
that's got to be changed in my opinion because you're leaving out Bradley Beal, two really good players in Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, and
So-
also the fans should not be voting, in my opinion.
All right. So these snobs bring up an interesting point. In my opinion, at least, with the two captains, they're able to pick like their guys. Like they overlook the guys like Devin Booker or other people because either they're on the Suns or they're just not friends with them as well as other guys. You think that comes into play at all?
No. Okay. So the captains get the pick from the pool that the fans voted.
Oh, so
that's why the
Booker
fans,
wasn't voted in.
He wasn't voted on. So
Okay, that's
the
my
fans-
misunderstanding.
Yes. So the fans should just have straight up. To me, it should be like
No say.
no say. Why the Taco Fall got like 1 million votes. He
He's
didn't
a fan
even play
favorite.
in half the game.
He's a fan favorite.
He's been in the main right
He's a
clause.
fan favorite.
Yeah, exactly. So why is he getting All-Star votes? I don't know, but it kind of to me it's got to change. It's got to change really soon. I don't think it's the way to go, but there's some out there who do. So let them think what they want. It is. I mean, I guess it is a good way for the NBA to get their interaction up. Everybody has to go on to NBA's Twitter, click the link, vote, whatever. So, if it's all about numbers, it's all about numbers. For the
MLB
NBA.
All-Star Game is all fan vote except for the ones that the MLB Players Association vote for. So that's not. I completely agree that it shouldn't be up to fans.
Yeah.
But I mean, it does add that foot traffic to the website and everything.
Yep.
Maybe gets the viewing experience up. You want to see your favorite player in the game, so you're gonna vote for him. Then he gets in, and you're happy, so you watch the All-Star Game.
Yeah, exactly.
Which that part makes sense, but I completely agree that you can't give all the power to the fans. Maybe it's like half and half in the league. Make sure that this one guy gets in because he's
Yep.
that stellar.
Yeah. So the game is on Sunday. It's in Chicago, like our caller said. 8:00. I don't think there's a line out yet, but if the line is less than if it's a one possession line, I'm not a professional gambler, but I would tell you to take Team LeBron.
Oh yeah, I'm by no means a professional gambler, but just by looking at the teams, I mean, come on.
Should we mention Vanderbilt?
Why not?
We're
I mean,
on the
come
gambling
on.
subject.
But not even. They're just our guys. We
They're
love
our school.
Vandy.
Vanderbilt is our school. Providence College is amazing. It's an amazing place. There's one place that I would rather be.
Vanderbilt
University. But it's heaven on earth. I mean,
But downtown Tennessee, you got the
Downtown
country music.
Tennessee,
The place is
exactly.
popping. They got the sports. They
Everything.
got the good grades. It is a perfect
everything.
school.
It's too bad you and I couldn't get in there, Ben.
It sure is. I sure tried my best.
Me too. But let's talk about the basketball team real quick. They are horrendous this year. They are 9-14.
Not only this year.
They're last. Yeah, I mean it's kind of a yearly thing. They're always bad. They're last in the SEC, which is kind of not even that strong a conference this year. Dead last. I think they got one win in the conference, or like 1-10 or something like that.
So let's start with about 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, they're playing Kentucky at Rupp Arena, a top 10 team in Kentucky. Sold out crowd, like always. Who cares that they're playing the worst team in the conference?
It's halftime.
It's halftime.
They're up.
They're winning.
They are winning.
The live bet is like Vanderbilt plus 7.5. All they have to do is lose this game by Less than 7. Mind you, they're up like 9. So
Yeah.
they can lose the second half by
It's
like
looking
16
good.
points. So me and Ben throw a couple bucks on it. You know, just hoping that Vanderbilt can hang on.
We think they can. Their overall record's not too bad.
But they don't. They don't hang on. We lose.
Let me tell you, we turn on the TV. They're playing not too bad. They're looking good. Then
Yeah.
all of a sudden,
All this.
what I don't remember what channel it was on. Was it on?
ESPN.
It was on ESPN. All right.
It wasn't like the main ESPN.
Right,
but
it was on like
one of them.
ESPN
Yeah,
U
we were
or
just
ESPN
live
2
streaming
something.
on,
Anyway,
like, YouTube.
anyway, ESPN flashes on the stats. Vanderbilt has not won.
It was like 1,000 days
They
since
have
the last
not
time they
won a
something.
conference game since.
It was like 600 something days.
It was some month
Yes.
in 2018.
Yeah. And
Almost 2 years
that was
since
like,
they have won a game.
That was a punch in the gut.
We then know our luck has run out.
Yes. But that didn't. Well, the thing is, if we were smart enough, we would have bet Vanderbilt at the beginning of the game
Right.
because they were 21-point underdogs, which they covered easily. They didn't cover a live bet, but they covered the spread
No, they
easily.
lost about
They lost by like
15, 16, something like that.
So I am now going to bet on Vanderbilt every game going forward. I started on Saturday. They were 16-point underdogs against Mississippi State, and I text Ben right after I made the bet because he was not at Providence this weekend. So I text him. I just say, hey, just bet it on Vandy. He responds, just put down some money myself. So they're
I was going in.
in typical Vandy fashion, they lose by like 11 points. They lose by 11.
But
Cover the spread.
we cover the spread.
Cover the spread by
Vanderbilt
like 5.
is now golden in my eyes once again.
Yep. So they're back. They're the best team in the country against the spread.
On that note, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be... You're listening to WWM 91.3 PC Radio. This is Behind the Dish Sports. I'm Ben Bellotti, along with my co-host, Robbie Cannon. We are back. But first, we have one quick announcement for all those PC students out there. Happy Galentine's Day. Tonight, 8 o'clock to 10 in McPhail's. Join BOP in writing love letters to your friends and family and painting wooden hearts for your dorm rooms. Compete in the Best Friend Challenge and win gift cards while eating insomnia cookies, chocolate strawberries, candy hearts, and more. Honestly, I mean, if you celebrate Galentine's Day, sounds like a great time, Rob.
Doesn't sound too bad. I mean, McPhail's tonight. Is that what you
8 to
said?
10.
8 to 10? Doesn't sound bad.
Maybe grab a milkshake, eat some insomnia cookies.
Yeah,
If
good
that's
point.
your jam, go for it. Sounds like a great time.
Does. For sure. Maybe we'll attend.
Yeah, maybe we'll see about it. All right, but we're back. We got a few more things on the agenda before we wrap up. First, we're gonna hit on the XFL. So the XFL is another football league, right?
Yep.
Trying to compete with the NFL or coincide.
Coincide with the NFL. Their season begins in January. Just began. Maybe early February. Might have just started. It just started. They're in like week 1, week 2.
Right.
But yeah. So obviously it doesn't overlap with the NFL.
Right. So the XFL used to be around a number of years ago, if I'm correct, and then it was recently just brought back to start again this year.
Correct.
So, but anyway, basically it's football with anything flies. There's a couple different rule changes that I'm not exactly clear upon. But, but 3 of the 4 XFL games drew higher TV ratings than any NBA or college basketball game last week. ABC, it was on ABC, and the XFL opener averaged 3.3 million viewers. And then some of the more recent sporting events that are not football related that drew similar size audience are the Liberty Bowl on ESPN, the Celtics and Raptors on ESPN.
Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Wow. That's astounding, to be honest.
I don't know what this last one is,
like a
but
soccer game.
it looks like a soccer game. Soccer gets a lot of viewers.
Yeah.
So 3.3 million viewers for these games. It delivered some of the biggest audience for 3 out of its 4 games. Outdrew every NBA and college basketball. That's crazy.
I think it is beginners. Let me see what this is all about.
Yeah, it could be.
So I think this is the best attempt that anyone has made.
To coincide with the NFL?
To coincide with the NFL. Because they're doing a couple things different. They made some rule changes. And so I think that they have a chance to stick around and actually make it. First things first, their TV contracts are a lot better than anyone has had before.
Mm-hmm.
ABC, ESPN, Fox, they're aired on the same channels.
And then
that
the
NFL is.
content they get within the XFL, anything flies, they can swear,
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
So
there's that. I think that that's a lot better, and they've made some rules changes that I actually think the NFL might switch to at some point.
really,
Like, their kickoffs are a lot safer. It's the only part of their game that's safer. Rather than having guys run each other 1,000 miles per hour, and literally their head-on crashes.
Yeah.
These guys are going as fast as they can. The people are like 5 yards apart, and you just kick it over. It's almost like in golf, a flop shot. You just kick it over the guy's heads, and it goes 20 yards. And when the guy catches it, then everybody can start running.
all right.
But by the time you meet, you've only each ran 10 yards, so you're not going full speed yet.
Gotcha.
So I think that the
part's-
NFL.
I like that rule change. I do like that.
I think that the NFL might actually switch to that, or something along the lines of that sooner than later, just because the NFL is safety.
So there's 8 teams in the XFL, if I'm correct.
Sounds about right. Yes.
So
will it so every team is one game in.
Right.
So it started last week. So will it last? That is the question. I think it will.
I think the league will last. The ratings will not. There's not going to be 3.3 million people watching every day, especially since this season goes into March.
Yeah.
March Madness.
That's what I was
That's
going to
take over.
So they go into March and all the way through the end of April. So right now they're competing with the NBA, which the NBA is, in my opinion, they're almost just content with what they have in the regular season. It's such a long season, they don't really care about. Mm-hmm. They're not going to compete with the NBA playoffs. NBA playoffs are a big thing. And then in March, no one competes with March Madness.
And then also the NBA isn't overly concerned with their ratings. They get a lot of their viewers off of either streaming services or just people watching the content on social media.
Yeah.
So they're not overly advertising their games or anything. Obviously the big ones everyone's going to watch. Everyone's going to watch Lakers, Clippers, or Celtics and Raptors or something like that. But they're not going out of their way to make sure you watch the Suns Nuggets game or something like that.
Exactly. So I think that the league will last. I think that the viewers will go from 3 million to 250,000 on an average night.
That's a big drop off, but I could see that happening.
So is what it is. But no, it is. I just, as a basketball fan, I couldn't find a way to get all caught up in the XFL, but
although I could see, in some of the earlier rounds of March Madness, I could see some people drifting to the XFL.
I don't think so. I think those earlier rounds are almost even better because there's so many games going on at once.
Personally,
it's like heaven.
Personally, I agree with you, but there's a lot of football fans and just casual sports fans out there that would much rather see men running full speed at each other, body slamming each other, than a college kid trying to hit a 3-pointer.
Mm-hmm. I think I disagree with you on that. I think that March Madness is just it's an event that's unlike any other. I think that
for sure it is.
I think that,
and I would take March Madness over almost any sporting event except for maybe the Super Bowl, the World Series itself.
Yep. So then in April, they're going to have to compete with the Final Four, which no, they're not competing with.
Start of baseball season.
The Masters. The Masters golf tournament is early April. It's the biggest golf tournament of the year, which is on ESPN for 4 days straight, all day. The Stanley Cup is in May, but the Stanley Cup playoffs begin in April.
The playoffs go on forever.
Yeah, they begin in April. The NBA playoffs, I believe, begin in April.
No, the Stanley Cup is in, I think it's in April as well.
I mean, it's...
But anyway, there's playoffs in April, so, I mean, this...
It's there could by the time that the season is even halfway, they got a lot to compete with. The ratings are going to plummet. The attendance at the games, I was just looking. They're playing in NFL stadiums, MetLife
I mean,
Stadium,
no, they're
Century Field. They're playing in the NFL.
the fans that attend the game. They're gonna keep showing up. I mean, football is football, and these fans go crazy for it. And this league is a great idea. It's essentially a Barstool sports team, sports
Yeah.
league, basically, where anything flies. You drive for entertainment. This is a great concept, and it's also a pretty high level of play.
No, yeah, they're good. I mean, they're the next closest thing to the NFL, maybe the CFL, the Canadian
Yeah.
League. But I mean, yeah, it is going to be high level football. I don't think that it'll last the way that
the
definitely won't.
the viewers won't last. But I honestly hope the league is around. I haven't watched any of the games yet, but honestly, I kind of want to. They seem entertaining.
They were on up at the sports book Saturday night when I was there watching the Friar. So. Well, I mean, we'll see, especially if gambling gets involved, too.
Oh, yeah,
that could
for
be
sure.
a game changer for them, which, I mean, it is. Obviously, they were on up there. You could bet on it. But we'll see. I think that's don't want to bore you guys to death with XFL talk. So we'll bore you to death with the next topic that we have, which Ben mentioned Barstool, which is just the greatest brand on the planet.
Big fan.
Anyway, last night, Ben and I watched The Bachelor.
First time, I may add.
First time. I don't know how many of you have watched it, but I was told that I was told some background on The Bachelor. I mean, I knew of it, and I'd known that one of the guys that I follow on Barstool is a huge Bachelor guy.
Oh yeah, a couple of them are.
Yep, and they watch it with the girls on the Barstool girls who have their own podcast, and so they're always pushing content from The Bachelor, which I think is funny. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch it. I was told that there's this girl on the show, one of the girls on the show, that I would really like. So checked out her Instagram. Ben, it was like love at first sight.
I mean, from what you told me, I can't believe you're here doing this instead of still looking at her Instagram.
I know. I mean, I'll probably look at her Instagram when we get out of here. But her dad, her name is Maddie Pruitt. She's one of the, now after last night, 3 girls left? Four girls left. Her dad's the head coach.
Robbie's very
not the head
invested
coach.
in the show.
I'm very invested in the show now. First episode. So, her dad is a assistant coach at Auburn Basketball. So,
Basically, this girl is perfect.
She's
for
perfect
Robbie.
for me.
She's
but
got
she's
the
gonna
looks.
get married to Pete,
Which is unfortunate for him.
which is sad. But yeah, so I really, this girl's amazing. I admire her very much. But after the show last night, you give the so. I listen to the golf podcast on Barstool all the time. One of the hosts his name is Trent, and he's a huge Bachelor fan.
It's been his dream to be the luggage guy on The Bachelor.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, the luggage guy, the luggage guy they call him, literally does exactly what you'd expect. He goes in and takes the girl's luggage after she's been kicked off the show.
Literally,
It's
it's
been
awesome.
He's been an avid Bachelor watcher for a number of years now. And last year, or was it last year, right?
2017.
2017.
He tweeted.
He tweeted The Bachelor asking to be the luggage guy. And last week, his dream came true. So, naturally, this drove us to want to watch.
It blows up. It's Barstool Sports. It blows up, like always.
So we watched this week. Trent's the luggage guy once again.
He comes in. Me and Ben erupted when we saw
Go
Trent.
nuts.
Go nuts.
Everyone's freaking out in the room because this girl has been kicked off. I don't care.
Yeah, they're talking about the girl who got kicked off. Some of them are happy. Some of them are mad. We don't care.
No.
We saw Trent.
Barstool Trent, the
Walk in.
luggage guy.
He doesn't open the suitcase. He lifts the handle up and just drags the suitcase
What, maybe
out.
10 seconds of screen time, and it was the best
Not even.
part of the
It
whole
was
show.
the best part of the whole show, except for Maddie Pruitt.
But after the
After the show,
Robbie goes, they better make a T-shirt. We get back to the dorm. What do? They make a T-shirt.
But like, it was like 20 minutes later. Ben goes, "Hey, they made a T-shirt."
Right.
Of course, we put 2 T-shirts in the cart, and we have 2 Bachelor T-shirts coming in Monday. That's
There you
really
go.
all you need to know.
I don't know exactly how I feel about it, but I know it's a Barstool product, so
gonna
I
be
can't
good.
feel too bad about it.
Exactly. I will proudly wear my Bachelor T-shirt.
And I'm slightly invested now. It's weird to say, but I'm slightly invested in the show.
I'm heavily invested. That's all I can say. I'm heavily invested in The Bachelor. Matter of fact, There was a huge college basketball game on last night.
And
Duke,
you chose
Florida State.
You chose the Bachelor.
And I chose the Bachelor. And I love I have nothing but respect for Duke, one of my favorite programs out there. And Florida State has a really, really, really good team this year. 7 versus 8 in the country, and I didn't even watch it.
Get off topic, but slightly on topic because you brought it up. Can we talk about Duke UNC?
Oh, yes, we can.
What a game!
What a game!
What an ending!
For those of you who didn't see, Duke got outplayed for 39 minutes and 58 seconds.
Pretty close to the exact, if not the exact time they got outplayed.
Yes. So, they were down the entire game. They make a historic comeback. And then they're down. There's like 6 seconds left in the game. And they're shooting at the free throw line. They're down 2. The guy makes the first. No way. I don't even know what happened. So they're down 2. They're down 2. He has 1 shot left at the free throw line. And obviously he's not going to try and make it. They have to get the ball because you can't get the free throw for 1 point. So he chucks it off the rim. Trey Jones, best point guard in the country, probably best player in the country. Throws it off the rim like a fastball.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute heater.
Gets
his own rebound, dribbles through 2 guys, puts it up, bang.
It was electric.
Swish. Overtime. Now we go to overtime. And we're in overtime. And 5 minutes go by. We're all 4 minutes, like 30 seconds. And Duke is at the line with the chance to, again, it's a pretty similar situation. Except this time, they're down 1. So Trey Jones has a free throw to tie the game with 10 seconds left. He misses it. Duke tips it out. Trey Jones gets the ball, goes in for a similar shot to what he had, but it was a 1-foot floater from just inside the 3-point line. Airballs it, and a Duke player gets it like an alley-oop, puts it in, time expires.
It was
Duke wins.
Incredible.
Historical.
I was up at URI. We were watching the game over there.
Yep.
We had kids running in the door, jumping for joy because Duke won. It was insane. No one expected them to win.
It was the best thing.
They got outplayed the entire game, and they played well in order to get back to their ability to win, but they had no means winning that game.
None.
Based on what happened before overtime.
Yeah. It was incredible. Duke is a really good team. Probably besides for Baylor, I think I got Duke as my next title favorite right now to win it all. But I think Baylor is my number 1 right now. It's been a fun last week in sports. Glad we got to catch up today.
But let me stop you right there, Rob. You said it's been a fun week in sports. It has absolutely not been for me. This Red Sox stuff has been bringing me down. And 20 minutes ago, what do I get? A notification. MLB will not render decision on Red Sox sign-stealing probe this week, leaving investigation to stretch into spring training. You're telling me we have to be investigated for sign-stealing that we probably didn't even do for the whole entirety of spring training? I can't even get a verdict before we have a manager?
Oh, no. This is not good.
It's just one thing after another. Mookie's gone. Price is gone. We cheated. Cora's gone. He should be back. # free Alex Cora. And now the investigation continues. We're not even supposed to have a manager until the investigation is concluded.
No.
Does this mean we're not going to have a manager until opening day?
I don't know. But you know what? These are perfect questions for Ben to answer himself. Thursday, Behind the Dish. 8 a.m.
Make sure you tune in.
We expect
8 a.m. to 10. We'll be on the air.
We'll be back here. Thank you for listening. So this was Behind the Dish.
Filling in for Riding Pine.
With Riding the Pine is myself, Ben, and Sam Pocock, who, as we mentioned, if you weren't here at the beginning of the show, homesick today.
Feel better, Sam.
Feel better, Sam. We'll look forward to having you back next week. Thank you for tuning in.
It's been an honor to have you listen to our show. Thank you to all the listeners, as Robbie said. Me and Rob will see you Thursday.
Yep.
And make sure you tune in to Ride and Pine next Tuesday from 2 to 4. This has been Behind the Dish with me, Ben Bellotti, and Robbie Cannon, my co-host. And you have been listening to WDOM 91.3. Thanks for listening.
Have a good day.